Very good morning, students, and welcome to the Science and Technology Part B lecture. As you know that the pandemic is going on and we are continuing with the digital classroom. Dear students, a very small part of lesson number 4, environmental management, is remaining. So first I will explain you the remaining part of the lesson and then immediately we will start with the textual exercise. I hope as per the instructions given by all the teachers, you are following them and you are completing your notebooks so that the work doesn't pile up. So, let's start with the lesson. We had studied about so many days, and in this lesson, we had studied about the biodiversity, environment, and all. So, just for your information, 22nd May is celebrated as the World Biodiversity Day. The last topic which is remaining in the lesson is classification of threatened species. Now, these species are divided into 4 groups. First one is endangered species, second one is rare species, third is vulnerable species, and the fourth one is intermediate interminate species. See, students, please be careful because many a times, like I also read it as intermediate. Many a time students while writing the answers, they write it intermediate only. It is not intermediate, it is interminate species. Okay, so just remember this. Now one by one we will start. The very first one is endangered species. Now either the number of these organisms is already declined or their habitat is shrunk to such an extent that they can be extinct in the near future if conservation is not implemented. And the examples are lion-tailed monkey and the second one is lesser florican. So these are the two endangered species. Second one is rare species. Rare species, these are the organisms which have considerably declined. Already they are on the verge of extinction. And these species being endemic may become extinct very fast. And the examples are red panda and musk deer. So these are the two species which are going to almost become extinct in the coming time if the conservation is not done. Third one is vulnerable species. These organisms are very less in number and they are continuously declining. Their number is continuously becoming less and this is really very worrisome. And the examples are lion and tiger. You know, the tiger project, lion project are taken up by the government. We are reading in the newspaper. So this is the vulnerable species, lion and tiger. Fourth one is interminate species. Now these organisms, they appear to be endangered, but due to their behavioral habits, there is no definite and substantial information, right? Their behavior is such, they are very shy, they are very timid. So the population to be counted is quite difficult. So they appear to be endangered, but there is no definite information about them. And the example is giant squirrel, which is also called as shakru. So with this we finish with the lesson and now we shall start with the textual exercise. The very first question is, reorganize the following food chain and describe the ecosystem to which it belongs. Okay. In the textbook it is given as grasshopper, snake, paddy field, eagle and frog. First we have to arrange this food chain, right? So let's see what is the exact chain. First is paddy field, then grasshopper, then frog, then snake, and then eagle. Now looking at the different levels, we can easily make out that this is a terrestrial ecosystem, and this is the ecosystem which is found in the paddy fields. Now in the paddy fields, the water logging is there, as water is very important for the paddy fields. So it offers a habitat to the frogs, right? Now the paddy fields are the producers in this ecosystem. The primary consumer is the grasshopper. It eats the paddy crop. Secondary consumer is frog, which eats the grasshopper, right? Then tertiary consumer is the snake. The snake eats the frog, and the apex consumer is eagle. And of course, there are decomposers like worms, fungi, bacteria, which decomposes the dead bodies of all these lower consumer level as well as the producers. So in this ecosystem, the solar energy is transferred from the paddy crops, which are the producers, to the eagle in a very step-by-step way. Okay, so this you have to describe about this ecosystem. Second one is explain the statement Earth. We have got this Earth planet on lease from our future generations and not as an ancestral property from our ancestors. Now see students, this answer is given in short on page number 38 in your textbook. Just open page number 38. See, in the middle of the page, a blue rectangle is given. Human existence is totally impossible without the existence of nature, right? So that is just the gist of this statement. But you have to explain it in detail, because this question may be asked for 5 marks. So I am just explaining you, and if you want, you can note down the points, or you can very easily, once you will understand what is the meaning of this statement, you can very easily write the answer. Now first thing you will write about that the earth was inhabited by older generations before us, right? We have replaced them. Similarly, we will be replaced by the future coming generations. Now during our lifetime, we had created industries, we had exploited the natural resources, we had wars, we had construction activities, dams, roads, bridges, deforestation. All this we had done without thinking about the future, right? These are all man-made activities, and we are exploiting the nature to its maximum just to satisfy our greed, right? Which is very much wrong. While doing so, when we are doing these activities, we are disturbing the balance of the nature. We are destroying the balance between the producers and the different levels of consumers. Now, as the human population is increasing day by day, we are running short of food, clothing, and shelter. So, to overcome that difficulty, what we do? We exploit the natural resources and we destruct the natural ecosystem of the earth. Now, that is very much wrong, because we are disturbing the balance of the nature. So, now it is our turn to see that our next generations, they survive on the earth with a perfect balance. So it is our duty now to maintain the balance and conserve the natural resources for the coming generations. Now these are all the man-made activities, but there are certain activities which are not in our hands, which are natural, like climate change, global warming, droughts, right? So this also we have to take care of, and thus we have to save the earth for the future generation. So you will explain this statement point wise. Okay. Then the next is write short notes on. First one is environmental conservation. It is given in your textbook on page number 41. Open page number 41. See the very first paragraph. Environmental conservation our social responsibility, that is given. So from that paragraph you will write about the environmental conservation. Okay. Then next is Chipko movement of Bishnoi. Now this Chipko movement of Bishnoi you have to do on your own. See, I'll just tell you in short. Otherwise, you have to find it on your own from the net and you have to write. This may not come for more than 2 or 3 marks. Now, there is Jodhpur district in Rajasthan where there is a village called as Khejardli village or Khejarli village, right? Now, here the khejri trees were found in very much in abundance. Now, there this first Chipko movement started in 1730 AD. Now here the king, that time the king was there and he ordered to cut the trees, but then these Bishnoi community, and they were led by a lady called as Amrita Devi, and they sacrificed their lives to save the trees. Now the king's men who were attempting to cut green trees of Khejri, these people, they hugged those trees and they didn't allow the king's men to cut the trees. Now that time the king wanted to burn this for the construction of his new palace. But because of the Chipko movement of Bishnoi, this was saved, and afterwards this movement was continued in many other places also, like in Uttar Pradesh also in 20th century the embracing of the trees had taken place and the Chipko movement also took place there to save the trees. So just write 8 to 10 points about this. Third one is biodiversity. It is given on page number 42 of your textbook. Just open page number 42, biodiversity. See, it is given environmental conservation and biodiversity. Now here you will write only about the biodiversity. What is exactly biodiversity? See, biodiversity is a topic which we are studying right from 7th standard. Okay. So what is biodiversity? It is the variety of the living organisms in nature due to the presence of varieties of organisms, ecosystems, genetic variations, right? So you have to just write about the biodiversity, and this question may come for 2 or 3 marks. So 8 to 10 sentences you have to write. Next is sacred groves. It is directly given on page number 43. On the top of the page, directly the heading is given sacred groves. Okay. So this you have to write a short note. Again, write in. Then the next is, how will you justify that overcoming the pollution is a powerful way of environmental management? Students, before we start with the discussion of this answer, see, there was a fifth short note also, disaster and its management. But this is not at all related to this lesson. It is in the next lesson which we will study, and then we can write this answer. So at present you don't write this answer, because anyhow this question is going to be asked in the next lesson. We have a complete lesson, disaster management. Okay. So coming back to question number 4, the answer is given on page number 39. Page number 39, the very first paragraph of the page 39. At present, many environmental problems have been arisen due to effect of various natural and artificial factors on the earth. Environmental pollution is one of these main factors. Generally, contamination of any material is its pollution. Unnecessary and unacceptable change in the surrounding environment due to natural events or human activities is called as environmental pollution. Direct or indirect changes in physical, chemical, and biological properties of air, water, and soil, which will be harmful to human and other living beings, is environmental pollution. Various reasons like population explosion, fast industrialization, and indiscriminate use of natural resources, deforestation, and unplanned urbanization are responsible for environmental pollution. Okay, so this you will write in your own words. Then the next is, which projects will you run in relation to environmental conservation and how? Now students, this you have to write in your own words, but still I am going to give you the points. Okay, these are the 5 points which you have to elaborate. You will put the headings and then you will elaborate these points. The first one is tree plantation, second one is solid waste management, third one is ban plastic, fourth one is alternatives for fossil fuels, and fifth one is care of stray animals and birds. So you have to expand these points, you have to explain these points, and you have to write this answer. Okay, next is answer the following. The very first one is, write the factors affecting environment. Now this answer is given on page number 38 of your textbook. Open page 38. See, on top of the page, the very first paragraph is there. Natural environment consists of air, atmosphere, water, land. Did you get that paragraph? Okay. So here you will get the factors biotic and abiotic, and then you have to explain the biotic and abiotic factors in detail. Okay. And repeatedly I am telling you, you have to write the answers in points. Science is a subject where you get the marks on the points. If you write 2 points, you will get 1 full mark. If the question is of 3 marks, you have to write 6 points. Question is of 2 marks, you have to write 4 points. Half mark is for 1 point. And this is the only subject where you get maximum marks for minimum writing. Otherwise, in languages, you know, you write 2, 3 full scape pages and you don't get full marks, 4 out of 4 or 5 out of 5, never. But in science, it's a scoring subject. Write the points and you can easily score full marks. Okay. Then let's move to the next one. Why does the human beings have important place in environment? Very, very simple question. Why the human beings have important place? It is given in your textbook on page number 41. We had written about the environmental conservation, our social responsibility. We are responsible for the environmental conservation because we are the one who are exploiting the natural resources. So we play a very important role in the environmental conservation. So in this paragraph, the answer is given and you have to write the answer in the points. Okay. Now let's move to the next question. Write the types and examples of biodiversity. Very clearly the answer is given in your textbook, page number 42. Okay, page number 42. In the second half, it is given biodiversity. Under the heading of environmental conservation and biodiversity, the second paragraph you will start with. Biodiversity is the richness of living organisms in nature. Did you get it? Okay. So, first you will write this and then you will write biodiversity occurs at 3 different levels. First one is genetic diversity, right? Second one is species diversity, and the third one is ecosystem biodiversity. Okay, so you will write about all these 3 examples of biodiversity. Okay, then the next one is E. Now see, D is missing. Can you tell me why the D is missing there? Now D is missing because if you remember, I and Poonam teacher, we had sent the reduced syllabus video on the WhatsApp group, and in that this topic is removed. The question is how the biodiversity can be conserved. So this is not there in the syllabus. So I have omitted that question. The next one is, what do we learn from story of Jadav Mulai Payang? Now this is also very clearly given, the story about him, and if you want you can search on net also more about him. It is given in your textbook, page number 42, in that green colored rectangle, the big story of a small man. Okay, that is the story. So this man who was born in Assam in 1963, and he was the one to restore the forest, right? And this man had worked so much in the Jorhat district of Assam that he was awarded with the prestigious Padma Shri award by Government of India. And now this is known as Mulai Jungle. The place where he planted the trees is known by his name, that is Mulai Jungle. So many people came together to destroy the forest, but a single person, he was the single person to establish a new forest, right? So you have to write about this story, and what do you learn from this story, that also you have to write. So the story is so directly given in the textbook. So what do you learn from this story? Okay, so we learn from this story that even a common man can contribute a lot for the conservation and protection of the environment by learning the story of Mulai Payang. You know, generally we say, मैं क्या कर लूँगी, एक आदमी से क्या होएगा? No, he was the only man who had worked so hard, and he had established the jungle, which is called as Mulai Jungle now. So it is not that we need others, but we alone, if we are, confident enough, if we are determined enough, we can contribute a lot for the conservation of the environment. Okay, then the next is, write the names of biodiversity hotspots. Again, it is given on page number 44, just at the bottom of the page. Hotspots of biodiversity, right? A big heading is given there, hotspots of biodiversity. There are 2 paragraphs, so you have to write in points. Very clearly the answer is given in the textbook. Next is, which are the reasons for endangering many species of plants and animals, and how can we save those? So this actually we had discussed in one of the earlier questions also, that what are the reasons for endangering many species of plants and animals, and how can we save those? First point is that it is we, the human beings, who are the reason for endangering the species of plants and animals, right? It is not that we are solely responsible, but up to some extent we human beings are responsible. It happens due to some man-made reasons, activities, and some natural activities which are of course not in our hands. Now first is the natural disasters like earthquakes, climate change, volcanic eruption, droughts, cyclones, forest fires, right? Because of which the living organisms are affected and the endangering of these species of plants and animals takes place. Now, these are the natural disasters which are not in our hand, but there are other man-made activities which are completely in our control, like the hunting, poaching of the animals, right? Then, we encroach the habitats of the animals, and then the animals, they attack on the residential areas. We had seen so many examples, right? Then the construction of roads, dams, colonies, buildings. So what we do for that? For the construction, we start with the deforestation, right? So we are disturbing the balance between the nature, right? So then we go for industrialization, urbanization, population explosion to cope up with the basic necessities of food, clothing, and shelter, right? We exploit the nature, we encroach the wildlife habitat, okay? So these are all the different reasons because of which the different species of plants and animals are endangered. Now, what we can do, how can we save? Now, we can protect the biodiversity by coming together, right? Now, so many things are done by the government, whereas even we have to take care, even we have to do our bit of work for the conservation of these species of plants and animals, okay? So various acts and rules have been formulated to protect the organisms, and of course when these rules are violated, the people are punished accordingly, right? So these are the different things which we can do to save the endangered species of plants and animals. Last one is, what are the meanings of following symbols, and write your role accordingly. The first one is recycle. So you can see the 3 arrows, that is the symbol of recycling. And we have to write our role accordingly. Now, recycling means, that is actually a very important mantra for the utilization of the natural resources, right? Now, the first one, as I said, we should reduce the excessive use of resources by preventing consumerism, right? So we should use the things and recycle it again and again. The second one is, you can see, save water. The symbol represents save water. Now, we are reading in the newspapers, we are watching on the TV that water scarcity is becoming very, very common nowadays. Now, water problem persists in many major cities and villages, right? Sometimes it is natural, like drought, but it is we human beings are also responsible. We should save water and we should make judicious use of water, right? So the second symbol is for save water. The third one, use of solar energy. Now, solar energy is the best option, right, for any other conventional source of energy. It is a non-conventional source of energy. It is the renewable energy option which is very easily available. It is one-time investment, right? And it reduces the pollution also. And if you are watching the news, recently in Madhya Pradesh, one of the biggest solar plant is installed in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so this is one very good option for the conventional to replace the conventional sources of energy Okay, so with this we finish up with the workbook exercise. And please students, now in the coming month we will be having your exams also, your online assessments also, like we had earlier. So please keep completing your books. Do not keep your written work pending. It's a humble request. Please keep on completing your notebooks side by side and see to it that you complete the lessons. Okay, so with this we finish with the lesson. Next time we will continue. Then take care, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.